What's up, guys? Today I'm going to show you how to install Walbro 485's into a GTR stock fuel basket. I might catch a bit of criticism for this video, but I enjoy criticism. I actually welcome it. So whatever kind of feedback, positive or negative, that you guys have, I'm going to learn from it. So let's hear it. But let's not waste any more time. Let's just get to it. First thing I want to do is talk about the fuel pumps themselves. These are Walbro 485 high pressures, part number F9000274. Same ones that are used in the Visconti dual Walbro 485 basket. They have newer pumps out, I think the 525's, but I don't have those right now, so this is what I got. These fuel pumps are kind of cheap, really. You might find them on Summit for $125. If you happen to have a vendor or a friend who is a vendor like I do, you can get these pumps from anywhere from $85 to $100. My friend Sam at Shore Tuned is definitely the guy that you want to call. I'll put his number in the description after I'm all done, and he can get you pretty much whatever you want. So I had some problems with the Visconti fuel basket. I don't know what happened. Some wires melted in the tank, and I called John and I was like, hey man, had some problems. He said send me all that stuff and he'll fix it. I was like, all right, cool. So I sent him the basket. I sent him another set of 485's and like filters and stuff like that for his pump. I had bought an extra set because I thought I might need it. Anyway, sent that all to him. He's working on it. In the meantime, I still want to drive my car, so I thought to myself, maybe I can fit these Walbro 485's into a stock housing. And I was able to do that, and I want to show you how I did that. So the first thing is with the motor, these are motors, with the pumps. On the end here is gonna come, you'll see like a barb. I don't know if you can see that. There's a barb right there. It comes with two barbs, and what I did was trimmed off the outermost barb, because try to fit it into this stock housing is kind of a pain in the ass, because it's got the O-ring in there, and it doesn't like, it just doesn't go down deep enough into the housing to seat around that O-ring with two barbs on there. So I trimmed off one of the barbs, and I shoved it down in there. It fit very well. I mean, it fit very well, to be honest with you. Like, I'll even show you on this one here. Right on. So it fits in there. It's not coming out. It's good. I'm not using this housing. I'm using another one over here. But it fits in there very well. But on the stock pumps, they come with this, where's the one? There you go. They come with this piece of plastic. And what this piece of plastic is it goes down into the housing, and it stops that O-ring from coming out once you get too much pressure into the system. Well, the Walbro 45's, you cannot fit this on this tube on the end. It's just, it got too big of an outer diameter, and to try to squeeze it over, it's just impossible. You'd have to actually like trim the barbs down all the way, or cut this and then like, let it go over that. But you would still have a problem, because this tube is much longer than this tube when it's seated. It's kind of a pain in the butt. So one of the things that I had to do to make sure that O-ring wouldn't come back out once these are seated into the stock housing is I got some Gates submersible hose, because you can't use a regular fuel line. It's got to be submersible. Got to be able to take fuel line from both inside and outside the line. I shoved it down onto the tube just past the barb, and what this will do is will hold that O-ring in place and be safe enough to sit in the fuel line, or in the fuel. So that's just the one part that you're gonna have to deal with on just the motor side. Now we'll go to the stock fuel basket side. These filters, if you're gonna reuse them, which you kind of have to, you need to trim the caps, like the cap blocks off, and then inside here you'll need to trim out a little bit here and a little bit over here, just to be able to seat down into the lip that is in the Walbro 485. Just watch my video over and over, and you'll be able to figure it out. The next thing that I did was I made these aluminum pieces. These aluminum pieces are actually rather important. I'll show you why. Let's go ahead and stick this 485 back into this other stock basket that I've got here. Right on. So with this stock basket, I had to trim it out like this. I would follow this pattern if you could. Try to keep somewhat of the structure so they have something to sit in. Don't just go cutting it all the crap. But I made these aluminum pieces for a very specific reason. And these are gonna go right there. Now that first kind of double U shaped one is gonna go up front, and it's gonna lock around the top of the pumps. This little T piece is gonna go back here behind there. And then what you gotta do is go ahead and take a hose clamp and squeeze them together. Come on. Make sure these are perfect. Don't want no mishaps. Okay, good. So now you got your aluminum pieces pushing down on the caps, and you got your hose clamp squeezing it all together. Probably should have done that better. And that's one of the ways to lock it in there. That's how I did it. Now these Walbro 485's don't come with the factory plug. This is the factory plug that comes on the stock housing unit. Yeah, it don't fit in there, bro. It don't fit in there. So one of the things you got to do is figure out what kind of plug this is. If you don't know what it is a Delphi Metropack 280, a sealed one. So what you got to do is find the male reciprocator, and you're gonna have to like cut, well, not cut, but you're gonna have to take out the wires from the stock plug housing, and then put on the male part, and then kind of wire it up yourself. I spent like $30 on just the plug kit, and it comes with all the connectors, comes with the plugs, comes with the seals inside here as well, comes with the connecting tips, and then you just kind of wire it all up, and then just put it together, and then bam, you got Metropack 280s on both ends now, and your pumps are hooked up. So the stock bucket, or bottom part of the basket, I haven't modified it in any way. It's perfectly stock. But the top part that goes into it, you will have to kind of trim out right here a little bit to fit down over the motors once it's seated. So I'll show you that. I'll show you it all assembled, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's all together. So once they're installed into the stock bottom part, you're gonna notice that this part is swelling out because of the larger heads on the pumps. Don't worry about that, it'll work. So the next thing you want to do is just kind of install the cap. So I've got a different cap here. They're both the same. There's no difference. I've trimmed this one out as well. This pump, this other stock unit that I bought was out of a wrecked GTR. So the company who sent it to me left the ends that they cut off just like still clipped on. So you want to pay attention to like this wrapping right here, and then this wrapping, the heat shrink on the end of the hoses. It's much longer on the right side one, and you want to remember that in case you forgot how to hook it all up inside your tank. But just pay attention to that right there, and that'll kind of help you keep everything the way it's supposed to be. Right on. So once you got the cap back on, you're going to notice a little bit of swelling on the side. It's not a terrible thing. It's okay. You can actually put your wiring through there, or you can be a little fancy. You can cut like a slit in here, and then the wires can come up and just, not sticking out there. But you're gonna want to like fold these down, and then be very careful of your wiring. You don't want to cut it. It's not gonna be the end of the world if you do. You got to remember it is already submersible in fuel, and you know, like there's a ground that's like constantly in contact with the gas. The stock pumps, like plugs, are not sealed, so when their plugs are in there, I mean, fuel is just constantly touching the connections at all time. Just remember, it's designed this way. As long as there's no spark, you'll be just fine. And that's why you have fuses, because if there's meant to be a spark, it'll disconnect the fuse. So now I'm gonna go ahead and install all this into the car and show you that it works. Car's running. Car's running.
This is Sam with Shore Tuned. I told you guys before, this is one of my parts vendors, also a really good friend of mine. So if you guys need any parts, be sure to hit him up. Right now he's just kind of looking through the EcuTech programming, seeing exactly what we can change. Looks like not a whole lot of anything. Sure would be nice to be able to tune your own car. I don't understand why you can't. There's so many other cars out there which you can tune your own car. If you blow your shit up, that's on you. Doesn't matter what programming you use. You can tune your own car. But in the GTR world, you got EcuTech, Cobb, HP tuners, and what, Motec, I think, are the only 4 tuning things that you can mess with. I'm not at the horsepower range where I need a Motec yet. I'm still under 1,000 horsepower, but I'm gonna get there. But at the moment, it doesn't seem like you can change anything on the EcuTech. It's horse shit, isn't it, Sam? Yeah. So anyway, car's running. My home rig fuel pump setup works great. I took the car out for a drive last night. It's good. So I want to try to turn the boost up, because it's a very conservative tune on the car right now. I keep fouling spark plugs, and yeah, well, I just want to put like 1 more or 2 more degrees of timing into this thing, and it would make a big difference. What are you doing now? Don't be changing the tune. Oh God.